You're a fire, but you don't understand why you burn holes in my head. I feel stupid when I fire.
Hey guys, Dial Drive here. The quarantine Q&A. So thank you for asking us questions. I got them pulled up here. There was more questions than we thought we were gonna get, and some of them are kind of similar, so we just kind of put them together. All right, let's get into it. So Nate and I started the band, and when we first did, we couldn't come up with a name. And he was living at a house on a road called Dial Drive. And at this time, me and him were throwing really big parties there. We were also practicing our music there, and so Dial Drive just made sense. Mine's pretty boring. My musical history starts in September of 2016. We started Dial Drive. That was my first band. I'd never been in a band before. The other guys have though, so let's call them. Hey buddy.
Hey, what's going on? Okay, so I started playing guitar first, I think when I was about 10 years old. Then I played a couple other instruments like ukulele, mandolin, stuff like that. The first band I was ever in was a band called Sons of a Biscuit, and turned into a band called Here for the Day. Another band after that called Glory Days. After the fact, it was a punk ska band. It lasted for about 6 years. I was in another ska band for about a year and a half, maybe, called Phenomenon Meets Cookbook. Bargain Heroes, and they're still going on. They're another ska band. Joined the band in the Midwest first. Played with them for a while. Hello.
Hiya, buddy.
Hey. I was in a lot of bands. I suppose the only one worth mentioning would be a metal band called Skies of Black. I was in this one cover band called the Shindigs. We played one show. But yeah, no, I haven't really been in a lot of bands, I guess.
So, I did one band in high school. It started off as Constant, Scenes from Tomorrow. I left Connecticut in like 2011, came to Florida, started one band. It was one band with AJ. It was called like Fish Tank. And then I did another band called Breakout Play right after that. We played 2 shows. And then now I'm not.
Well, that's pretty straightforward. So typically, every song will be a little different, but typically, Nate and I will kind of come up with an idea, get together, get the structure of the song down, and then we'll all come together and really complete the song. Pretty much everything we have released is an example of that. I mean, without all 4 people and everybody's input, I mean, there's no way any song would sound as good as it does.
You're always around. It's not like
Mine would be Sunset Silhouette from Denver.
Yeah, that's the one.
Oh, 100% Doc Rod. I'd say probably Aimless Again from New York.
Man, that's a good question. So we didn't have a lot of songs when Jit was with us. Those who don't know, Jit was our bass player who passed away right before we released our second EP, Viva Legit. But I know Medicated for sure was a favorite of his. And then I also remember him really liking to Throw Up. So I'd say Medicated and Throw Up.
Denver, Colorado.
So Denver's the favorite city and Colorado's the favorite state?
Yeah.
100% Denver, Colorado.
So favorite city would be Chicago, and then favorite state would be Colorado.
I think one of the states that took me by surprise was probably Arizona. I think favorite city we've played in, that's a tough one because there's been so many fun ones. I think Brooklyn, the first time we played in Brooklyn.
Kind of. Like as you saw, he was with us at our live stream performance a couple weeks back. We're going to start working on some new material here soon once we can, and the goal is to have him be a part of that. AJ really just kind of left because, touring and playing a lot, there's a serious grind behind that, and he wanted to focus his energy on different creative projects. So that's really it. I mean, we're still best buds. I mean, some of my favorite memories on tour are with AJ.
Oh, God! Austin! No.
So kind of. You might see him at shows, you might hear him on recordings. Probably won't see him at every show or on every tour because he's doing other stuff.
Okay, so I think it's been a little under 3 years, and I switched to play bass and dial drive. I switched from guitar to bass, like really switched where I just kind of all I do now is play bass. Is because I kind of thought I was getting stagnant as a guitar player. I didn't feel like I was moving in any direction at that point. It felt like I wasn't being challenged.
Quarantine is awful. I can only speak for myself, but I think we're all bored out of our minds. We miss playing live shows. We miss being around our friends, our fans, talking about stuff, hanging out. But it's all for the greater good, we think. So, hopefully it doesn't last too long.
Drunken Out of Shape. Not my favorite one to play or listen to, but my favorite just because that's what started it all. That's the song that kind of started Dial Drive.
Never gonna get away, never gonna get another chance to say just what I'm feeling.
Well, one time I tried to suffocate Tim for drinking all my scotch.
Who drank all of my scotch.
But then I realized I was the one who drank all my scotch. I think that's really I don't think attempted murder is really a prank, so.
Scotch, bud. Die.
No.
Die.
I don't know, there's a lot of them though. A lot of them.
So my first instrument was a guitar, and the first song I ever learned was God Called It Sick Today by AFI.
My first instrument was actually the drums when I was like 3 years old. My dad's a drummer, so he taught all of us at a very young age. I don't remember what song was my first song that I learned. My first song on guitar was this. All Right Now. It's just like 2 chords, but that was my first song on guitar.
My first instrument was guitar, and I learned the intro to Iron Man using 1 string, and I can play it just as bad today.
First instrument was guitar. First song I think that I could play through fully was Blackbird by the Beatles.
To even know that you were too strong to ever show it, but now you're gone, it doesn't matter what the hell I do.
Well, I would say get into your local scene. No matter what city you're a part of, chances are there's a scene. I'm sure it'll vary, in size. I mean, that's what we did. That's what I feel like every band has to do. And so we just started going to shows when we first started out and meeting people, and that's the best way to gain relationships. So be a part of your local scene, play a lot in the beginning, and bring something new to your performance. Really make it energetic, make people want to see you live.
I'm so sorry, little brother. Can't believe we lost another. It's hard to come back every day when you're being crushed. It's impossible to say.
Man, that is a really good question. Well, I think one big change, especially in the beginning, is that show attendance is going to be up. We've all been kind of hunkered down, not really able to go out. So I think show attendance will be up. I think people not having the opportunity to go to live shows for this amount of time, I think a lot of people are going to miss it. One thing that I really hope stays the same is that I hope there's the same amount of venues when we start playing again, because obviously having all this time off, it's not easy on small businesses. A lot of venues scrape by already, so hopefully venues don't close. Alright, well that was it. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for all of your questions. Like I said, we got to most of them. So yeah, thanks for the support, thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you guys soon.
Saying, is there something you should